Well, and with that in mind, let's welcome in my first guest, New York State Attorney General candidate Michael Henry. Michael, good to have you back on the program.
Thank you for having me on Higbie TV.
Exactly. How was your Thanksgiving, first off?
Excuse me?
How was your Thanksgiving? Any politics at the dinner table?
No, not so much. Luckily, I've been able to escape politics for a couple of days, but obviously there's a lot of things in the news that I have to answer for the last couple of days. So You still get the text messages and people don't understand that you're kind of checked out.
Yeah. Well, you know, speaking of text messages, and I tweeted this out the other day, and some people took this like really seriously and took it the wrong way. I said, I don't know who needs to hear this, but please stop with the generic Happy Thanksgiving text messages. Some of these people I haven't talked to in like a year. Did you get a bunch of those?
Yeah, the same picture that everybody's sending around, and it's like, just give me one that makes me feel like it's personalized. Just make me feel special.
Right? Yeah. Exactly. I mean, it's crazy. It's like, use my name. Like, hey, Carl, Happy Thanksgiving, pal. Whatever. Anyway, I got to get to this. All right. So New York, you're looking to represent a significant portion of things in New York with your upcoming seat. Now, New York City wants to allow almost 1 million, it's like 800,000, but almost 1 million undocumented immigrants, make them eligible to vote in, quote, municipal elections. Now, the city council is slated to vote on this bill on December 9th, but I'm struggling here without my law degree, but isn't this illegal?
It's illegal against the New York State Constitution, and quite honestly, it is an outrageous idea because here's proof how bad it is. Mayor de Blasio, who's considered the worst mayor in New York City's history, said he would veto this. And what this does is it violates the New York State Constitution, not federal law, but the New York State Constitution, because what they're looking to do is give green card holders and other people with some level of status here the right to vote in local elections. But the long-term consequences on a permanent citizen of New York is not fair, because if you're a citizen of New York, somebody could literally come here 45 days before an election, vote, and then leave, and their vote has an impact on your future. And honestly, if they want to proceed this way and violate the state constitution, they better be prepared for a lawsuit, because this is going with the trend where if they get this at the local level, they're going to push this at the state level, then they're going to start pushing for illegals to be able to vote. And what they're doing is they're diminishing the value of citizenship. And this is really unfair to somebody whose probably the greatest accomplishment in their life was working through the system, getting sworn in to become a United States citizen, and the joy of that has basically been taken away because you've diminished the value of what they've done.
Yeah, and that is crazy. You know, one of my good friends, his name is Graham. He is he's from Canada. He wants nothing more than to vote in this country. And this guy is like more American than 99% of the people I was in the military with. I mean, he loves this country. He could pass citizenship tests with his eyes closed. He can recite the Constitution. It's hanging on his wall, but he can't vote. And that is something that is horrific to me, that you're just going to hand it to somebody who broke the law, came here, jumped the line. This is crazy. But I want to get to the BLM in New York, okay? So BLM is threatening, and we don't have time for the soundbite, unfortunately, but BLM is threatening to, bloodshed and riots and all this thing, because the new incoming mayor, Eric Adams of New York, is saying, look, guys, your social justice agenda, stop it. We're gonna enforce laws. We're gonna, maybe not to the degree that Rudy Giuliani did, but we're going to enforce the law. And if you jump a turnstile, you're probably going to go to jail. And I don't care about your social justice agenda. This is like a huge rift with BLM.
Well, look, Eric Adams was elected with the mandate by the voters of New York City to stop crime. I think it's a step in the right direction on his part to stand up to the threats of violence and also the incitement of riots by a BLM leader. The truth of the matter is Black and brown communities have been affected the most by these so-called criminal justice reforms. And I'm hopeful that Eric Adams sees that, because what has happened is we've had a crime crisis, and it's affected many young minorities who have been the victims of these crimes. And I'm hopeful, based on what Eric Adams campaigned on, that he's going to look to take a stand against this and bring law and order back to this city. So at this point, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I am encouraged by the fact that he has stood up to some of these radical leaders that have literally threatened him to his face.
Right. And you know what? You're running for AG, so this is a big thing. Like, I think his policies are a bit wackadoo, because almost all Democratic policies are. I will give him all the credit in the world for cracking down on crime in the thing. And we have a seat right here. I'm happy to have him in here, and I'd love to hear all about this plan. Real quick, about 30 seconds left. You're running for AG. Number one thing you want to get accomplished in the state?
Number one thing I want to get accomplished is the repeal of bail reform and working to bring law and order back to the state. We're losing too many people in this state to crime. Too many people are becoming victims of crime, and corruption has been too tolerated in this state. So I make law and order probably the first thing on my agenda.
Yeah, well, Michael Henry, best of luck running for New York AG. We appreciate you being here, sir.
Thank you very much for having me, Carl.
All right.